Well, hey there, and welcome to another edition of Coshocton Conversations. I'm your host, Kirby Hossman, and we're here at the tap room at Hossman Brewing, where we want good people to have good conversations. And we've got a great conversation lined up today with the Executive Director of the CVB, Mindy Brems. Mindy, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Kirby. Thanks for inviting me.
So, for those who don't know or who want to learn more about it, tell me a little bit about your organization and maybe some good projects you're working on.
Okay. Well, we're the Coshocton Convention and Visitors Bureau officially.
Okay.
What we do is we promote tourism in Coshocton County, and what we want to do is encourage people to come here and see what we have. Yeah. We have a lot of great things going on in Coshocton, and we want to encourage people to visit and explore and plan return trips to come back. So we have a lot of really good stuff coming for 2018. Of course, you're involved in one of those things. The Three Rivers Wine Trail for several years has just been a collection of wineries in the area, and in 2018 we added Hossman Brewing Company, Woolly Pig Brewing, Woolly Pig Farm Brewery, and Killbuck Creek Distillery. And so now our wine trail has some variety.
Kind of killer.
It's very awesome. So we're very excited about that because we think we're diversifying the audience of the wine trail by adding these new partners. And we have an event coming up in April, the Spring Fling Wine, Beer, and Spirits Tour. And of course, Hossman Brewing Company is on that tour. So for their ticket price, people get tastes at 9 different locations over the course of a weekend. So it's going to be a great time. Yeah,
that is going to be cool. So I always say the CVB is a little bit like the Coshocton County's marketing department, right? You guys are always telling our stories. That's awesome. So what's one burning challenge that you have right now?
We have a lot of things to do and not enough time or people to do them. I think that's probably the common answer that you get from everyone. But in addition to the wine trail and those additions, we are launching a Coshocton Unique and Antique and Unique Shopping Trail. Coshocton Antique and Unique Shopping Trail in probably the first weekend of June. Cool. That will launch. We've started to get our social media presence going with that. And we're also launching a 105-mile motorcycle route in Coshocton County called the Three Rivers Ride. Nice. And so we're working on, obviously, online and printed materials for all of those things. Wow. And there are just 2 of us in our office. And as we get closer to tourism season, of course, we're in historic Roscoe Village, which is one of our premier attractions here in Coshocton to go along with everything else. And we also operate the Annan Flag Maker showroom. And for those of you that don't know, Annan flags are made here in Coshocton County, and they have been for a long time. And so you can buy your Annan flag from us at the Visitors Bureau Tourism Information Center. That's in Roscoe Village.
You're wearing a lot of hats.
Yes, we do.
No, that's awesome, and I appreciate that. So what are some things in Coshocton County that you're excited about? My guess is quite a few, right?
Actually, there's a lot of things to be happy about in Coshocton. And of course, you've raised your children here. I've raised my kids here, and there's a lot to do. And I think one thing that really speaks to the quality of life in our community is the really rich tradition and fine arts that we have here. And they can be anything from, school productions and choirs and bands and things like that. But we have, with the Pomerine Center for the Arts, their Dogwood Festival is coming up. And of course, they have interesting exhibits. They do monthly events with their rent parties. It gives people something to do. So the Pomerine Center, Triple Locks Theater does productions throughout the year. And they actually just partnered with several of our other tourism attractions to create more opportunities for people that were coming to their place. So, for example, Ravens Glen Winery did some special drinks to go with Savannah Sipping Society, which was the last production that they did. And so we're starting to see some partnership between these entities, which I think is really neat.
Really cool,
and of course, Clary Gardens is a beautiful place to visit, and it's free. It's a great place for people to go, and they have special events. I know their Butterfly House is coming back this year. And so we have such a rich culture here in Coshocton, and I know a lot of people will travel to big cities because they feel like they can't get that in small town America, but you can get that here in Coshocton.
Yeah, it's interesting. The other thing I would say to folks that if you don't think there's anything to do, I always say go to the visitcoshocton.com website and go to the events page, and there's just event
Yes.
after event after event. There's constantly things going on, so that's really cool, and it's a good resource. That website's a really good
It
resource.
is. We try to share as much as we can with people, and to stay on top of all of those social media avenues. So if you have something going on, we just ask you to tag Visit Coshocton or use hashtag Visit Coshocton so we see it.
Yeah.
Because we don't have time to troll everybody's pages
Yeah,
all day long.
No.
It would be fun to do that, but we don't have time.
No, that's fair. So, final question for you is: what's another organization or event that you see as a positive in Coshocton?
I think that Coshocton is blooming, or is it American Bloom? Coshocton in Bloom. They are changing their name this year to Coshocton in Bloom. They won a national award for floral displays in 2017, and I was talking about quality of life. They had, let me read my paper here. They had 392 flower pots throughout Coshocton last year. That's a lot of flower pots. And you see the Rotary, I believe it was the Rotary, donated the golf cart that goes around and waters all of those flower pots for everyone. And they're going to be adding more this year. But it beautifies our community. And it also got us national exposure because they won an award for those displays that went up against lots of big cities in the United States, and we got that. And so that's just a point of pride for us. And so I think they do a lot kind of behind the scenes to beautify our community, and we don't know what's happening, but when we see it, we really appreciate it.
No, that's great. That's great stuff. Thank you so much.
You're
I appreciate
welcome.
you taking the time.
Thanks.
So that's going to wrap up this edition of Coshocton Conversations. We'll see you next week.